there, welcome to Yoga for Clearing the Mind, a trauma-sensitive yoga flow just to help you get out of your head for a little bit, to refocus, and then continue on with the rest of your day. So thanks for showing up. That's often the hardest part, is just by coming to your mat. So you did that, you're here. So let's get going. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat. You can be seated on the floor, on a mat, on a chair, whatever feels best for you. And let's begin by taking a few breaths together. So on an inhale, try taking a breath in through the nose, shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears. And then on the exhale, just breathe and sigh it out through the mouth. So you let the shoulders relax. So 2 breaths like that. In through the nose, lifting the shoulders. Exhaling out through the mouth. Just sigh it out. One more time. In through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. Just letting the shoulders rest and relax here. Lifting tall through the crown of the head, just allowing space for the breath to flow easier through the body, through the core. Now your hands can rest on your legs, they can rest on the floor. Again, just listen to your body throughout the practice. Do what feels most comfortable for you. And we're going to bring awareness to our breath. So feel free to close the eyes, or you can just find a gentle gaze down at the floor. And first, just notice your natural breath. How you breathe without thinking about it. Maybe the breath starts to change or slow down a little bit when you do bring awareness to it. Maybe it stays the same. Just watch for a few moments what happens with the breath. And then these next couple breaths, we're going to try breathing into the count of 4 and breathing out to the count of 4. So I'll keep count for you. You don't have to worry about that. As always, if breathing to a count becomes overwhelming or makes you start to feel anxious, you can always let go of the counting. Just breathe naturally. Come back in when you're ready, or just breathe. So finishing your next exhale. On that next breath in, we're just going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4. Slowing it down. 2, 3, 4, and breathe out. 2, 3, 4. 2 more breaths like that. 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Now again, breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and pause. 2, and breathe out. 2, 3, 4. 2 breaths like that. In. 2, 3, 4, and pause. 2, out. 2, 3, 4. One more breath. In. 2, 3, 4, and pause. And breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and let go of that counting breath. Just come back to your natural breath. Check in. Notice where the body's at, where the mind is at. Alright, then let's find some movement. So if you are seated with your legs crossed, try crossing them the other way, the other leg in front or on top. If you're on your knees or on your back, feel free to stay right there. We're just going to add some movement. So once again, finishing your exhale, sitting up nice and tall, and on the next breath in, let's reach those arms out and up until you feel those hands connect at the top, and then exhaling down to your heart center. Maybe the thumbs touch the heart, maybe they're out here, either way is fine. Again, inhale, really extend through both arms as you reach out and up. Exhaling those hands to your heart. One more breath like that, inhaling as you reach, and exhaling, hands down all the way to your legs or the floor. Now on the next breath in, we're going to try to lift up nice and tall. So think about the center, upper part of your chest. Think about it lifting straight up towards the ceiling. So as you breathe in, you lift up here. Just allow those shoulders to draw down and back. And then on the breath out, bringing your chin a little closer to the chest. Inhaling as you reach forward and up. Maybe you look up at the ceiling as well. And then exhaling as you round through the back, allowing the shoulders to drop, the belly draws in. Few breaths like that, just moving with your breath, allowing your breath to set the pace here. So it might be a little different pace than what I am moving at, or maybe it feels better just to stay and hold anywhere along the way. But let's just take 2 more breaths, whether you're moving or holding. And just eventually making your way back to that neutral spine. Go ahead and uncross those legs. We're going to come around onto our mats, onto all fours. So go ahead and bring those wrists directly under the shoulders, your knees directly under the hips, spacing between those fingertips. Really connecting each one of those fingertips with the mat. Slight bend in those elbows, turning the eye of your elbows, the inside part, so they're facing one another, or as much as we can there. And then as we pause here, just think about lengthening through the spine. Try to reach the tailbone back as you reach the crown of your head forward. Shoulders, trying to keep those shoulders away from those ears. We're going to find a little bit of balance here. So on that next breath, shifting your weight over into that left leg, we're going to lift our right leg, reaching it back behind us and flexing through your foot. So your toe reaches down towards the toe reaches down towards the floor. And then the left hand reaches forward. You can keep the fingertips on the floor, or you can reach the left hand straight ahead. Now check in, see if we can line those shoulders up with one another, lining those hips up with one another, and we're gonna move. So as we breathe in, we really reach forward, reach back, and then as we breathe out, bringing your knee towards your nose or towards your elbow. Inhaling as you reach and extend, exhaling, draw it all in. Inhaling as you reach, exhaling in, 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, extend, exhaling, rounding through the back, and 1 last time. Exhaling here, slowly lowering your hand and your knee. Recentering on all fours, finding your breath here for a moment. And then we'll move on to the opposite side. So when you feel ready, shifting your weight into the right leg, slowly extending your left leg, reaching it back behind you. Try to reach the heel away from the body. Lining those hips up with one another. That will require you to engage that lower belly. Really lift it up away from the floor. And then slowly we'll add that right arm. So you can bring fingertips to the floor, or you can reach forward out in front of you. Take a nice deep inhale here, reaching forward, reaching back, and then exhale, drawing your knee towards your elbow, towards your wrist, maybe to your nose, and then inhale, reach and extend. Exhaling, round it out. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling as you bring it all in, engaging through the core. And 1 more time. Exhaling, bring it in. Inhaling, reach. And slowly lowering your hand, lowering your knee. Maybe bring those knees a little wider apart than those hips. Big toes come together. And we'll slowly sit back into our child's pose. Now anytime you come into child's pose, you're welcome to rest your forehead on your mat. Maybe you like to bring your hands together and rest your forehead on your hands. If it doesn't feel so great on the knees or the hips, you can try bringing the knees a little closer together, or you can just come all the way up and have a seat here. So child's pose is a place you can come to at any time through your practice. If you need a moment to just find your breath or come back to center, or just take a break. So we're going to take 3 breaths here in our child's pose. Checking in with the breath, feeling it flow in and out of the body. Okay, then when you feel ready, extending those arms forward, palms on the floor, hands shoulder width apart. On the next breath in, coming forward and up into a kneeling plank. Our plank is just the top of a push-up, so shoulders are above the wrists. Again, engaging the lower belly, lifting up away from the floor. Inhaling here, shoulders draw down the back. And exhaling, elbows bend. Try to keep them in along your sides as you lower. All the way to the chest and the belly. And then inhale, lifting your heart. just a tiny bit into baby cobra. Exhaling, lowering back down. On the inhale, we're going to lift the heart, maybe a little higher this time, putting some pressure into those hands. And then exhaling, lowering back down. And inhaling as you lift, really just engage through that lower back. Exhaling, slowly lowering back down. And one more time. Inhale into your cobra as high as is comfortable for you on that back. Try to relax through the glutes, through the thighs. And exhaling all the way back to the chest and the belly. On the inhale, we're going to lift the knees, or the chest and the hips at the same time. Lifting back up to those knees. So inhaling back up to your kneeling plank. And exhaling, hips back. Child's pose. 3 times through that modified flow. We're going to move 1 movement per breath. Inhaling forward to your plank. Exhaling, elbows bend, lowering all the way to the chest. Inhaling to your cobra. Exhaling, lower back down. Inhaling up to those knees and exhaling, hips back. Again, finding the pace of your own breath here, matching your movement to your breath. Inhaling when you lift the heart, reaching it forward as well. Exhaling, lower down. Inhaling up to your plank, try to lift and move your hips and the chest at the same time. Exhaling, child's pose, and one more time through that modified flow. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhaling, elbows graze along your sides as they bend. Inhaling, heart lifts. Exhaling, lower. Inhaling back up to those knees. And exhaling, hips back. Child's pose. Once again, pausing here, about 3 breaths. Checking in, moving after you've moved around a little bit. Maybe you can feel that heart beating. Maybe you're breathing a little bit faster. And then as you feel ready to continue on, again, giving yourself permission to stay here as long as you'd like. But we'll extend those arms forward, palms on the mat. Slowly lifting the hips, tucking your toes. Reaching those hips back once again towards those heels. Grounding down into those palms. And slowly begin to lift those hips up high, finding your downward dog. In your downward dog, feel free to walk out those heels a few times as you bend one knee towards the mat and reach the opposite heel towards the floor. Switching those legs, just go back and forth a few times. And then relaxing both heels towards the floor, lifting the hips up as high as you can. Finding some length through the spine, some space through the back of the legs. And then turning your gaze forward in between those hands. Slowly begin to step those feet towards the front of your mat. Coming into a forward fold. And once you get here, we're going to bend those knees all the way until the chest can connect with the thighs here. So deep bend in those knees, folding over those legs. Now on the inhale, we're going to lift the chest just a little bit off those legs, lift those hips up towards the ceiling, and then exhale as you fold back into it. 3 times with a breath. As you inhale, maybe lift the chest a little higher. Those legs might start to straighten out a little bit. And exhaling as you fold back into it, untucking the head. One more time, inhale, lifting, drop those shoulders back and down. And then exhale, folding deeply over those legs. Let's keep those knees nice and bent here. Arms can just hover over the floor as we slowly begin to roll all the way up to standing. When you get to the top, feel free to take a few shoulder rolls. Keeping both feet connected with the floor. Really feel the mat underneath those feet, underneath each one of those toes, underneath the heel. One more shoulder roll back and down, just pausing right here. Once again, just checking in, finding your breath. Okay, on that next inhale, let's reach those arms all the way on up. Exhaling, connecting those hands, finding your heart center. And inhale, reach out and up once again. This time as we breathe out and bring our hands to our heart, we're going to step our left foot to the back of our mats, turning our foot out to the side, bending into this front knee, just until the knee comes above the ankle. Trying to avoid having it go past the ankle here. Once that knee is bent, turning your shoulders, turning your hips towards the front of your mat, so you're facing the same direction that your knee and toes are pointing in. And inhale, and we'll reach both arms all the way up. Warrior one. Exhaling, let's bend those elbows, dropping them down and back. We call this cactus arms. And then inhale, lifting back up, looking up at those hands. Exhaling, cactus arms. Again, moving with the breath. As we move the body in sync with the breath, it becomes a sort of moving meditation, helping to keep that mind focused and distraction free. One more time. As we breathe in, lifting up nice and tall, connecting those hands, and exhale, let's pause right here. Cactus arms. Keeping this front knee bent, pointing straight ahead. This back leg is engaged, engaging through your glute, your thigh, and really pressing into the outside edge of that back foot. So strong through both legs. Finding that breath. Maybe slowing down the exhale. 2 more breaths here. And then that next inhale, go ahead and lift everything up, straightening through that front leg, and then exhale, lowering both hands to the floor. Finding your runner's lunge. We're going to pause right here with this front knee, this right knee bent, the left leg engaged. Now options, choices here, you can lower the left knee to the floor, or you can keep the toes tucked and keep the knee lifted off the mat. So completely up to you, you choose what feels best in the body today. We're going to keep the left hand on the floor here, directly under the shoulder, and on the inhale, we're going to reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, finding a twist to the right side. Inhale, and as we lift up through those right fingertips, and then exhale, we're going to reach the right hand back towards that left foot. Inhaling as you reach up, exhaling, reaching back. Inhaling, lift, one more time. Exhaling, reaching back towards your foot as far as you can, and inhale all the way up, bringing your hand back to the floor. We're going to step this front foot back, lifting the hips up high to your downward dog. On the breath in, let's come forward to our plank. Now you can come to your knees and do the modified flow like we did before, or for a little more challenging, you can stay on the toes, and as you breathe out, just lower halfway down, and then inhale, lifting your heart into an upward dog. On the breath out, lifting those hips up high, making your way back to your downward dog. And let's all take a deep breath in through the nose, and then sigh out through the mouth. 2 breaths like that, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And 1 more breath here, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Turning that gaze forward in between those hands. When you feel ready, slowly walking those feet, or you can hop your feet to the front of your mat to your forward fold. We're going to pause here for about 3 breaths. That seems to be our magic number today. So go ahead and just release those hands. They can hover over the floor. They can connect with the floor. Keeping a little bend in those knees. And just dropping the chin a little closer to the chest. Maybe shake that head out yes and no a few times. Releasing any tension you might be holding on to in the neck. And then when you feel ready, finding a deep bend in those knees, using the strength of your legs, grounding down into those feet as you slowly stand all the way up. Once again, when you get to the top, feel free to roll those shoulders out a few times. Finding your mountain pose once again. Feet grounding down into the mat, lifting tall through the crown of your head, and reaching those fingertips down towards the floor. Finding your breath. And on that next inhale, reaching the arms out and up. On the exhale, connecting the hands, lowering them down to your heart center. And once again, inhale as you reach out and up. And this time on that exhale, bringing those hands through your heart center and stepping your right foot to the back, turning your foot out to the side. It can be a little step, it can be a big step. Space in between those feet is completely up to you. We'll bring those hands back to our heart center, turning our shoulders towards the front knee, the front toes. Again, just bending that knee just until it gets above that ankle. To make this a little less intense, you can always step this back foot in a little closer. It can be in a short stance here, or for more intensity, step that back foot a little further away. Inhaling, let's reach both arms all the way up, finding your warrior one. So you're really actively reaching up through those arms, but slowly softening, relaxing through the shoulders. When you're ready to move with that breath, we'll inhale, standing up tall, straightening that front leg, and exhaling, cactus arms, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, elbows draw down and back. Inhaling as we lift up, maybe those hands connect at the top. Exhaling, cactus arms. Inhaling as we lift, and one more time, exhale, cactus arms. Pausing right here for 3 breaths. Again, see if you can feel that back leg engaged, pressing into the outer edge of the foot, engaging the thigh, engaging the glute. Arms are engaged. Continuing to breathe. Then next breath in, go ahead and lift everything up tall. And then exhale, lowering those hands to the floor, releasing that back heel from the mat. Again, your choice if you want to lower down to that right knee, untucking the toes. Or for a little more challenging, you can keep the knee lifted and the toes tucked. Right hand's going to stay on the mat, directly under the shoulders. And on an inhale, try reaching that left arm forward and up towards the ceiling, and just see how that feels. On the hip, on the back, on the arms. You can stay and hold here if you'd like to move. Inhale as you reach up towards the ceiling, and exhale, reaching back towards your foot behind you. Inhaling as you reach back up. Exhale, reaching back. One more time, inhale, lifting up tall. Exhale, reaching back towards your foot. And then go ahead and slowly bring that arm forward and down to the mat. Stepping this front foot back, lifting those hips up high, downward dog. And then go ahead and lower to both knees. Bringing big toes together and reaching those hips back towards your heels, finding your child's pose once again. We're going to be here about 5 breaths. So finding the pace of your breath. You can always count the breath like we did at the beginning of class to help you stay with the breath. Or just breathe naturally. When you feel ready, extending those arms forward once again. We're going to keep our left hand on the floor, and on an inhale, reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling. Turning that gaze up at that right hand, dropping that left shoulder a little closer to the floor. And inhale, reaching up a little higher, and then exhale, reaching that right hand down and underneath the left arm, walking it out to the side as far as you can. Now you can keep both arms extended here, just hovering the head over the floor. The head can rest on the floor, or you can bend that left arm and find a spot for the head to rest on the arm. Pausing here just for 3 breaths, bringing awareness to that right shoulder, maybe the lower back. Sending your breath into that space that you are creating in the body. Very slowly, as you feel ready, bringing both arms back out in front once again. Take a moment here, just check in with both sides of the shoulders, of the side body. And then when you're ready to move on to the opposite side, we'll keep that right hand on the floor. And on an inhale, reaching the left arm up towards the ceiling, turning that gaze up as well. Gently dropping that right shoulder a little closer to your mat. One more breath in, reaching up high. And on the breath out, reaching down and underneath that right arm, walking that left hand out to the side as far as you can. Again, you can keep both arms extended here, or you can bend that right arm, creating a space for your head to rest. Finding your breath, allowing your breath to be your timer. So 3 breaths here, and then slowly coming on out of it. When you are ready, bringing both arms forward once again, back to center, and then slowly just walking those hands up, coming all the way up onto those knees. You can keep the hips on the heels, or you can come up tall if that feels more comfortable on the knees there. Either way, let's bring those hands to the floor or to the lower back. So inhale as we draw those shoulders back and down, lifting the heart up towards the ceiling, maybe turning that gaze up. And exhale as you drop the shoulders away from the ears, squeezing those shoulder blades together down the back, just opening through the front of those shoulders. And then slowly making your way back to center. Sliding those feet around to the front. Scooting your way forward towards the front of your mats. We'll bring those hands to the back of those legs and go ahead and roll all the way down onto your back, bringing those knees with you into the chest, and then gently rocking those knees side to side. Noticing the lower back here, just as it moves across the mat. The next time those knees come over to your right side, slowly allowing those knees to come all the way down towards the floor. So just rolling onto the right hip, the right side of the body. Right arm can reach out, and then we're gonna reach the left arm all the way up and over to the left side. So reaching the arms out in both directions, like in a T shape. And if comfortable on your neck, you can slowly turn your gaze to the left as well. So you're starting the twist in the low belly, and it's going all the way up to the very top of your head. As you find your breath here, maybe with each breath in, just imagine yourself creating space through the torso. Getting a little bit longer through the spine. And then on the breath out, just feeling the body soften and relax into the twist. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, when you feel ready, again, you can stay here as long as you'd like. But we'll slowly guide those knees back up to center. Releasing both feet to the floor for a few moments, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and bring those arms in. Maybe your hands come to the low belly or along your sides. Just giving the spine a moment to come back to center, and the lower back to release. And then go ahead and draw those knees back in towards the chest. A few more times, rocking side to side. Rolling across that lower back. And then slowly guiding those knees over to the left side. Rolling onto that left hip, left side body. Left arm reaches out. And then the right arms can reach out to the opposite side, out to the right. Again, turning your gaze to the right if that feels okay on the neck. Otherwise, you can just look straight up at the ceiling if that feels better. Noticing your breath here. Maybe as you breathe in, you might feel the belly rise and expand. And as you breathe out, maybe the shoulders can relax a little closer to the floor. Relaxing through the gaze, through your jaw. 2 more breaths. And then as you feel ready, using the strength of your core to guide those knees back up to center. And again, lowering both feet flat to your mat, knees pointing up. And maybe walk those feet out a little wider than those hips, out toward the edges of your mat. And you can stay and pause here for a few breaths, or you can move those knees side to side. Just moving both knees over to one side and then the other. So not only rolling through the lower back, but you might start to feel it through the sides of your hips when they connect with the floor. One more time to each side. And then slowly bringing those knees back to center. Now maybe this feels comfortable on your lower back and you stay right here for these last couple of minutes, or you can extend those legs out in front of you. Maybe those feet a little wider than those hips. Arms can be along your sides. Maybe you walk those shoulder blades together underneath the body, palms facing up to help open through the front of your shoulders, or really whatever feels most comfortable for you. So making any adjustments needed. Finding that space where you feel most comfortable for Shavasana. Shavasana just means final relaxation. So it's just a time for your body, for your mind to absorb everything that is just done throughout the practice. But just remember that oftentimes Shavasana is the hardest part of practice. Especially in our busy lives, our busy world, it's hard to just be still. So just be patient with yourself, knowing that some days it's easier to be still than others. But for today's practice, I'm going to walk you through a brief Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is just, some people say it's yoga sleep. It's really just a guided relaxation, a guided scan or awareness of the body. So feel free to stay with my voice. Stay with the awareness of the body. If you find yourself zoning in and out, that's totally okay. Or if you fall asleep, even better. It means you're relaxed. So again, just do what feels most comfortable for you for these last few minutes or so. So as you find your space again, just take any more movements or adjustments that is needed to help yourself be more comfortable and to find some stillness. You're welcome to close your eyes, or you can just find a gentle gaze up at the ceiling if you'd rather keep them open. And just notice maybe where your body is connected with the mat underneath you. Maybe the back of your head, the back of your shoulders, the back of the legs, whatever it is that you notice. Feeling that connection with the ground underneath. And as you continue to breathe, maybe you feel yourself get a little heavier into those connection points. Just really arriving into your space here. Noticing your breath. Just allowing it to come back to its natural, normal pace here. And then without moving it, bringing your awareness to your right thumb. Just noticing where it is in space, if it's touching anything, how it feels. Notice your right first finger, your right middle finger, right ring finger, and right pinky. Bring awareness to the right palm. Maybe you can feel a texture or a temperature of the air on the palm. The back of the right hand, the right wrist, right forearm, right elbow, right upper arm, and right shoulder. All of your awareness on your right arm and hand as they relax. Moving your awareness to the right ribs. Maybe you feel slight movement there as you breathe. right hip, right upper leg, the thigh, your right knee, the front and the back of it, your right shin, right calf, right ankle, the top of the foot, the bottom of the foot, and each right toe. All of your awareness on the right side body and leg and foot as they relax. And just breathing gently into the entire right side of the body. And then moving your awareness to the left thumb. Again, without moving it, just notice where it is. If it's touching anything, how it feels. The left first finger, left middle finger, left ring finger, left pinky. Noticing the left palm. Maybe you feel a texture or temperature of the air on the palm. The back of the left hand, the left wrist, left forearm, your left elbow, the left upper arm, and your left shoulder. All of your awareness on the left arm and hand as they relax. Moving your awareness to the left ribs. Again, maybe you feel a slight movement through the ribs as you breathe. Noticing the left hip, the left thigh, the left knee, the front and the back of it, left shin, left calf, left ankle, top of the foot, the bottom of the foot, and each left toe. All of your awareness on the left ribs, hip, and leg and foot as they relax. Just breathing gently into the entire left side of the body. And moving your awareness to the very top of your head. And noticing the forehead, the area around your eyes, the nose, the cheeks, lips, jaw, your chin. Noticing the throat, the neck, the collarbones, and that area in your chest where your heart resides. Breathing gently into the head, the face, the neck, and the heart as they soften and relax. Breathing gently into the entire body as it softens and relaxes. Now bringing awareness back to the breath. Making the breath a little bit deeper. Beginning to fill the lungs. Maybe you feel the chest rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. And as you continue to breathe deeper, just notice how your breath alone can invite energy into the body. And then as you're ready to bring movement back into the body, maybe starting with the fingers and the toes. Maybe roll out the wrists and the ankles. And then very slowly extending those arms all the way up overhead and just taking a big stretch from fingertip to toe. Slowly drawing those knees back in towards the chest, wrapping those arms around your legs. Again, just thanking yourself for showing up today. Doing something for you. Feel free to roll over onto one side, pausing there for a moment. Just taking one last moment here to check in with yourself, how or what you might feel in the body. And then you can slowly help yourself back up to a seat, where we'll take 2 more breaths together as we finish up. So once you find your space, again, finding a nice tall spine, finishing that next exhale. And then on the inhale, let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And then a nice cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you were able to clear the mind for a little bit and feel ready to continue on with the rest of your day. Namaste.